The European Union, EU, has set aside 26 million euros to start agri-businesses in Zambia. Through the fund, the EU hopes to integrate 150,000 smallholder farmers into viable value chains. Patricia Banda reports.
This is Mkupa Mulenga, a smallholder farmer in Chief Susumkwakwa's area in the Teta area, Chibombo district. He is among the farmers that have been integrated into the European Union Enterprise Fund Zambia project with a successful story of restocking and selling cattle. Mukupa's story came to light when the EU4MULIMI and Self-Help Africa, who are implementing Enterprises Fund project, visited his farm.
We are also milk suppliers. We supply milk in our Zambia. Teach us milk more than 40 liters.
Ignatius and his father Jabezulu are also among the beneficiaries who are using animal manure for gardening.
The prices of fertilizer has just gone too high. So then we actually use the manure to boost our crops so that we may increase on the yields.
The Chisamba Ranching and Cropping CRC, an agribusiness company, has received support from the EU Enterprises Fund Zambia project. It is buying cattle from various parts of the country and adding value and later supplying to chain stores.
Our whole industry basically revolves around smallholder farmers. So whether it is from the procurement of cattle, value addition to those animals, and again, our clientele at the end are also the medium income class and the low income class.
Self-Help Africa is an organization that is implementing the project for the EU in Zambia.
Currently have about 20 companies who we have already provided finances to. And I think the finances, the total financing which we have provided goes to almost 13 million euros, which we have so far committed to these companies, these agribusinesses.
The EU4MULIMI team also toured Chisamba Ranching and Cropping abattoirs to appreciate how the company is able to process the animals in preparation for sale on the market. Patricia Banda, ZNBC News, Chisamba. This is part of the soybeans yield grown through organic farming. It is now ready to be processed by 260 brands, formerly Seba Foods. Over 2,000 farmers are now being trained in organic farming in Central, Northern and Copperbelt provinces. Miriam Valeta is one of the farmers that has gone into organic farming.
We have never grown organic, and we had the challenge of weeds to weed because you don't use any chemical, any fertilizer, just manure. So that was another challenge, which especially weeding. Otherwise, for manure and fertilizers, we had the fertilizer, which is manure, which was very good for us. For the first time to use manure, all along we have been planting maize and groundnuts, which we don't use manure.
260 Brands project manager Jolene Rogers explains more on the training of farmers and support it has received from the European Union.
We were also looking for a partner, for someone to partner with, to go into the EU market. We were looking for funding, and the EU came on board, and they have been very supportive partners, and they have given us funding, and they've given us quite a lot of support in terms of coming with us for inspections, being with the farmers. It has given farmers confidence in their product.
The Chief Executive Officer for 260 Brands has projected to buy between 500 and 2,000 metric tons of soybeans from farmers this farming season.
We believe that the value of providing a premium to the smallholder farmers for producing an organic certified product is far greater as well. Zambia has very rich agriculture, as we know, great land, great arable land. But if we work with the right partners to support, train and develop these smallholder farmers to be organic certified, I think 260 Brands can leverage that and take processed foods and beverages organic certified to not just the regional market but also the international markets.
Self-Help Africa is implementing the Enterprise Fund Zambia project for the EU. And over 150,000 farmers countrywide will be integrated into this project. Patricia Banda, ZNBC News, in Chisamba.
Chisamba Ranching and Cropping is set to integrate 3,800 small-scale farmers through a project funded by Enterprise Zambia Challenge. Chisamba Ranching and Cropping Managing Director Johan Uytteraeghe says the company is providing valuable linkages that will improve egg production and stock feed operations among small-scale farmers. The company also plans to establish feed loading operations in Sananga Western Province and Chisamba in Central Province, which will predominantly source cattle from small-scale farmers. Mr. Uytteraeghe says the feed lotting operations will improve the quality of beef produced in Sananga and Chisamba. Chisamba Ranching and Cropping is among the agri-businesses that received funding from the European Union through Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund in 2021. An Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund is so far impressed with how the company is working with small-scale farmers, adding that the project is targeting 150,000 farmers across the country.
Every smallholder farmer's dream is to grow their business and change their lives for the better. Mulenga is one farmer who is realizing his dream. He has been supplying cattle to Chisamba Ranching and Cropping, an agri-company that was among those who received funding through the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund.
Pano pa famu na community yonse ichita benefit kuvene tichita ese kupitira muri wa CRC ameti basapra yako ngombe. Pano peni kamba kudala tenzo sevenza nchito teka. This time around ni na permanent workers very 5. Wo sevenza chape pa famu.
Company Managing Director Johan Uytteraeghe explains how the company has been working with small-scale farmers in the quest to integrate them to sustainable and viable value chains.
We've earmarked places where we've put cattle collection centres, and we've got people like the one guy, his name is Jeff. He used to run 500 animals on our farm, so we've made him a cattle buyer that doubles up as the extension officer. This guy's got vast knowledge and experience in running a cattle herd, and he has to look after his farmers. First of all, the better he can make his farmers perform, obviously the more cattle they can sell and the more cattle we in turn get. We've got our own in-house retail chain called Super Value Meats. We've got outlets Kasumbalesa, Kitwe, Lusaka and Kabwe. And then we've also just recently taken over all the pick and pay butcheries that we stock and run ourselves.
Chisamba Ranching and Cropping, CRC, is one of the agri-companies that received funding from the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund, which was funded by the European Union in 2021. Ngola Sikazwe is the portfolio manager.
We look at the social impact. Remember, the ultimate goal of this project is integration of 150,000 smallholder farmers. I know here you can't see any smallholder farmers, but all these products which we are dealing with are coming from smallholder farmers. So we look at the social impact in terms of the impact it will make on the smallholder farmers, the job creation it will create.
The project is run by Self-Help Africa and Imani Development, and it is seeking to integrate small-scale farmers and producers into sustainable value chains, help them to transition to greener and more sustainable agri-food systems, and create jobs in the sector. With support from Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund, CRC aims to integrate 3,800 additional smallholder farmers into various agri-value chains, 1,000 women in point-of-lay value chains, 1,300 cattle smallholder farmers into beef value chains, and 1,500 maize, soya, sunflower smallholder farmers into stock value chains. Francesca Piribanda, Damu News, Chisamba, Central Province.
And I got 5 cows from my crow and took to CRC when I heard they were buying cattle at a good price. I had a good profit and got 18 cattle from one client.
Just because wagulisa pa mtengo wa bwino. After that nabwe anaendamo futi. Na sakira ngombe nakwanisa ngombe zili 10. After kugula ngombe zili 10 na pesa yako na ngombe zili 10 napeleka futi ku CRC. After napeleka ku CRC futi ka profit kanachita munga kakulako. Nabwera manje naendo gula ngombe zili 18 pamozi ku muntu umozi. Nakwanisa kugula ngombe zili 18 ku muntu umozi. Life ya chinja.
Life has changed from the way we were living in 2020. This is because of the business I am now doing with CRC. I used to afford 2 meals a day. but now we can afford 3 meals per day. When we moved here, my wife wasn't looking as good as she looks now.
But by this time, chifukwa chakunkala bwino na CRC na wakazi wanga hapa ene baonekera manje tinkala bwino maningi.
Other farmers have benefited from this too. Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund is so far impressed with how the recipients of the funds are working with small-scale farmers.
And I think that, what was I going to say about that? I think if you walk into a super value shop or a supermarket where meat from smallholders is available, you can see that they can produce at a very high quality, with the support, because you're taking an animal from them, and if they're getting the right kind of training, support, advice about animal health.
Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund is pleased with the integration of smallholder farmers into the food value chain by agribusiness companies that received grants from the European Union. Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund team leader Mark Island has lauded the impact of grants on small-scale farmers involved in different value chains such as cattle ranching, soybean farming and aquaculture. He was speaking after the 2.5-day media mission to Chisamba organized by the EU4MULIMI communication team of the EU delegation to Zambia, which took place from the 31st of May to 2nd June 2022. And one of the small-scale farmers has told Diamond News that selling his cattle to commercial farmers who received the grant has improved his family's livelihood. The European Union, through the Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund, recently closed its 4th call for the proposals to support companies which are committed to increasing the integration of smallholder farmers to value chain development and better market access.
I believe that by working with companies that are interested in the social impact of their businesses, as well as, of course, the profitability, smallholders are able to benefit from that.
About 90 kilometers north of Lusaka, smallholder farmers have had their business fortune change following the issuance of grants by the European Union to 20 agribusiness companies to the tune of 13 million euros in 2021. Mulenga is among those that are not direct recipient of this fund, but through agro companies that have received the grant, he is now able to sell and transport his cattle without stressing.
I had a bit of money and bought 5 cattle, and I got 5 cows from my crow.
Other farmers have benefited from this too. Enterprise Zambia Challenge Fund is so far impressed with how the recipients of the funds are working with small-scale farmers.
And I think that, what was I going to say about that? I think if you walk into a super value shop or a supermarket where meat from smallholders is available, you can see that they can produce at a very high quality, with the support, because you're taking an animal from them, and if they're getting the right kind of training, support, advice about animal health, that animal is going to obviously grow more. They'll have a higher weight when the smallholder sells to the company, and that means there's less work for the feedlot to do before it actually comes out to us through the abattoir to the consumer.
The EU organized a media mission to Chisamba so that they could see how the EU is helping smallholder farmers integrating the food value chain, how it works with the farmers on the ground, and what the impact is for smallholder farmers and the food system. The mission was under the theme, Increased Participation of Smallholder Farmers in Market-Integrated Value Chains in Improved Access to Finance, Service and Outputs. The visit covered different parts of the processing, from cultivation to packaging, demonstrating the real meaning of farm to fork. The aim of this EU-funded project is to integrate 150,000 smallholder farmers to value chain development and to better market access. Francesca Piribanda, Diamond News, Chisamba, Central Province.